Happy holidays! I hope you're enjoying your friends and loved ones during this celebratory and festive season. I'm coming to you today with some important information. I'm sure you've all heard and probably used the term building generational wealth. That seems to be everyone's goal today, and it's not a bad one. It's great. Even the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So, generational wealth is definitely a good plan. However, it's becoming increasingly more evident to me that many of us are leaving out some very important fundamental components to building wealth. And I wanted to discuss that briefly today. First, I want to talk about wills. You all know what a will is, right? You've heard the term, the last will and testament of, and it's very important. Many of you may think, well, yeah, it's important, but how important is it? Well, let me tell you, it's so important that if you don't leave a will, the government gets to decide who gets what. And nobody works that hard to amass all that you've amassed so that the government can decide who gets it. At the end of the day, you want what you've worked for to go to whomever you choose. And in order to do that, you must at least have a will. So the laws of intestacy in most states say that whoever the legal heirs at law or distributees of your estate are, when you die, if you die intestate, meaning without a will, they're the ones who receive from your estate regardless of what their relationship was to you. Meaning, there have been clients of mine who have had children whom perhaps were not formally given up for adoption, but were not raised by the decedent, and they now become the next of kin or the heir at law. And those children who may have been raised by the decedent get nothing. We also have couples who have separated, some of whom have separated for more than 40 years. We have one case where a gentleman was deported maybe 2 or 3 years into his marriage and had not been back to the States since. Well, his wife, who had gone on, raised their children, had someone else in her life, but never formally divorced, when she passed away, half of her estate went to her estranged husband who was in another country. So these are very important things to know, that regardless of your proximity to your legal next of kin or heir at law, the law is only concerned with who is next in line legally. So it's very important to make sure you make those arrangements. The other option, of course, is a trust. Now, I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of trusts for many, many reasons. But I want you to know today that there are two distinct types of trusts. Although there are many types of trusts overall, but there are just two distinctive types, in that one is a revocable trust and another is irrevocable. Very different, and they have very different protections. So a revocable trust is most commonly known as a living trust. Many people have them. And the beauty of a living trust, of course, is that your assets, mainly your property, can pass to your loved ones without having to go through probate. Wonderful thing. Also, it's completely private. Whereas if you apply for the probate of a will and an estate, or the administration of an estate, that is public record. It's a matter of public record. So everyone gets to see what you have, who got what, who applied for letters of administration or of testamentary, meaning who's the administrator or who's the executor. All your business is out there. And you may not care, but if you do, you definitely want to have at least a living trust. That said, a living trust does not protect you from liability in the way that an irrevocable trust would. A living trust, although it becomes irrevocable at death, while you're alive, it does not offer you the same protections. When it comes to planning for something like long-term health care through Medicaid, being able to qualify, you've all heard of that 5-year look back. That is not, a living trust does not protect you from those things. That's where an irrevocable trust comes into play. So now, the irrevocable trust, but not just an irrevocable trust. Certain types are much better than others. The one I'm a huge proponent of is the non-statutory, common law, complex non-grantor trust. Whole lot of words. whole lot of meaning. Very important for many reasons. The most important reasons, of course, is it offers you the most protection and offers you the most protection for your assets. It also gives you the best chance of perpetuating wealth. And there are many strategies as to how to do that within the trust, things we could go over one-on-one. But just to give you an idea, this trust is often referred to as the Rockefeller Trust. And one of the reasons is obviously because Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, in using this trust, was able to perpetuate wealth moving forward for generations and continues to. And there are many, many facets to this type of trust that would enable you to do the same. And you don't need to have Rockefeller's money in order to get it done. Trust and believe. I have one. Not that I'm not going to have Rockefeller's money one day, because that's the goal. But that said, you don't have to have that in order to establish a trust. It's very important, though, to have this document in place. There are some other things I'd love to share with you, but for now, I hope that this has given you food for thought. And if you have properties, I have to say this, you must have one of these legal instruments in place to protect your assets. Regardless of how simply structured your family may be, it's really important. I don't want to go into a whole lot of negatives, but there are cases where the court may appoint an administrator who is an attorney, and we all know they will very often milk your estate for all they can. Oh, I hope that doesn't sound too negative, but it's real. So it's better that you're in control than to give the control away to someone who just doesn't have the same concern for the well-being of your loved ones after you're gone. And actually, while you're here, many people think that a trust is only an instrument or a legal vehicle that can be used after death, but that is not the truth. You can actually use a trust while you're alive. You have assets that you can put in the trust, and they can function, they can make money. I can show you how you can make income in the trust and how you wouldn't even have to pay taxes on the income. That's a whole other thing. I will give you a nugget. If the trust sells a property, there's no capital gains. Cool, right? So that's one plus. But there are many, many, many others. So if you're interested in learning more about better ways to prepare for generational wealth, then please get in touch with me. You have my number. If I'm reaching out to you, I know you know how to get in touch with me, but I'll share with you anyway. My email address that you should use, my personal email address is alexandriais@yahoo.com. Super simple. And for those of you who have my phone number, please text me. Let me know that you're interested. We could set up a conference call or a Zoom meeting, invite some friends over, definitely family members. Listen, we all have to come together, build one another up, move forward. It's not just for one of us or some of us, it should be for all of us. Those who are like-minded should come along. So let's share, let's build, let's encourage, let's move forward. This is a time for us to be blessed and be a blessing. So thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to hearing from you, and I pray that you continue to be well, be safe, and be in continued receipt of God's rich and abundant blessings. Bye for now.